There was once a man named Ethan who was born into a world that didn't believe in him, a world where dreams were mocked, where survival was celebrated more than success, and where poverty wasn't just the lack of money, it was the lack of belief. He grew up in a small, forgotten town with cracked roads and tired faces, where the wind carried whispers of defeat and hope was treated like an illusion. His father fixed broken carts, his mother sold old cloth in the market, and every night they prayed that tomorrow would be kinder than today. Yet kindness never came easily. Ethan's childhood was carved out of struggle. He wore patched clothes, ate little, but dreamed big. When others played, he worked. When others slept, he stared at the stars, asking them silently if a boy like him could ever matter. People told him, "Dreams don't feed the stomach." But he answered softly, "Dreams feed the soul." Every morning he climbed a small hill behind his house, sat under a tree and whispered, "One day, I'll make something of this life." That whisper became his prayer, his promise, his reason to rise. When his father fell sick and his mother grew weary, he became their pillar. He took a job at a mechanic's shop, his hands blistered, his clothes always soaked in oil, but his heart burned with determination. Each coin he earned went to medicine, repairs, or food, yet he never complained. He used to say, "Struggle is not my enemy, it's my training." He studied at night by candlelight, often falling asleep on open books, and even when exhaustion pulled him down, his will pushed him up again. Many laughed at him for dreaming beyond his reach, calling him foolish, saying he was chasing clouds. But he smiled and replied, "If clouds move, why can't I?" Life tested him over and over, failures, rejection, loneliness, but he saw those as lessons, not punishments. One day, an old man noticed him reading in the market and asked why he worked so hard. Ethan said, "Because I want my tomorrow to look nothing like my today." That old man became a blessing in disguise, helping him get a small scholarship. With trembling hope, Ethan left his village for the city, carrying nothing but faith and a few coins in his pocket. The city was harsh. No one knew him, no one cared, but he kept moving. He slept on cold floors, skipped meals, worked late nights, and fought exhaustion every day. When darkness surrounded him, he remembered his mother's voice. "When you can't find the light, become it." Slowly, his hard work began to bloom. He became skilled, confident, and respected. Yet when he graduated top of his class, no doors opened, only more rejection. But instead of giving up, he built his own door. With his bare hands, he started fixing machines in a small corner of the street. He called it Rise Workshop. People laughed, mocking his ambition, but soon, the sound of his tools turned into the rhythm of hope. Customers came, then stayed, because they saw in him something rare: honesty, effort, and heart. He began teaching other poor boys, saying, "If you want to change your life, start with what's in your hands." As the years passed, his workshop grew, his name spread, and his story became a flame that lit others. He didn't just build machines, he built futures. He built a small school for children who couldn't afford one, telling them, "Knowledge is the only wealth no one can steal." People began calling him the man who refused to give up. Still, he stayed humble. He said, "Success is not a crown to wear. It's a light to share." Even when wealth came, he lived simply, helping others stand on their feet. He faced betrayal, loss, and heartbreak. His father died before seeing his rise, his mother's health declined, but Ethan kept walking. He once said, "Pain doesn't stop your journey. It shapes your soul for it." Every scar on his hands told a story of perseverance. Every tear carried a lesson. He often spoke to young dreamers, saying, "Don't envy others' success. You don't know the battles they fought. Don't fear falling." The ground only hurts the first time his words reached hearts, because they were born from experience, not books. One night, years later, when his hair had turned gray, Ethan returned to that same hill of his childhood. The tree still stood there, old and silent. He sat beneath it, just as he once had. But this time, he wasn't a boy dreaming of meaning. He was a man who had found it. He looked at the stars again and whispered, "Thank you." In that quiet night, he realized something profound. Life had never been against him. It had always been teaching him, testing him, molding him into what he needed to become. He saw that success wasn't the money he earned or the buildings he owned. It was the peace in knowing he had done his best with what he had. He remembered his struggles, the hunger, the failures, the loneliness, and felt no regret, because every pain had a purpose. His journey was proof that no one is too broken to rebuild, too poor to dream, or too lost to be found. Life had taught him that meaning isn't given. It's made, moment by moment, through patience, faith, and relentless effort. Before leaving, he carved 3 words into the bark of that tree: "Keep moving forward." When villagers found it later, they said it was Ethan's final lesson to the world. His name lived on, not through statues or fame, but through every life he inspired, every dream he reignited, and every heart he reminded that it's never too late to start again. Because life, he had proven, is not about what you have, but about who you become through what you face. It's about turning wounds into wisdom, failures into fuel, and moments of doubt into declarations of strength. And so, Ethan's story became more than a memory. It became a map for those who wander in darkness. It whispered to every broken soul, "You are not done yet. You are not defined by where you started, but by how far you are willing to go. You may bend, but you will not break. You may fall, but you will rise again." Because the purpose of life is not perfection, it is progress, and every breath you take is proof that your story is still being written.